Good morning. I'd like to keep this video kind of short for you guys, but I want to put out something because I love seeing Honda content that's uplifting and good. So I'm out in my garage. You can see the Honda logo behind me, so you know where I'm at. I'm at my house. I'm in my garage. So I'm working on my B16. This is a spare engine that I have been amassing parts for because, as you know, if you're watching a channel like this, that B-series parts are becoming more rare, which does not mean that you need to gouge people on the prices. And everybody has been amazing. All the people I've interacted with, lots of people on OfferUp. I met a new friend over in Las Vegas, and he's a totally awesome dude, someone that I'll actually link up with when I go visit family over there and talk about Honda stuff. And it's just good quality upbuilding association. So I hope this is helping you connect. I hope people reach out to me. I love hearing from people. And someone's like, hey, I saw your video, hits me up on Instagram. Definitely love that. So let me show you what I have going on today. It's more of just like a review of a few parts that I have, as well as showing you where I am so far. I'm waiting for a few things. I need to go to war with the post office today because I ordered some intake studs, not exhaust studs. The exhaust studs showed up from eBay. My intake studs that I ordered, I go to my P.O. box, I open the box and I pull out the package, and it is legit like an empty package with a razor blade cut across the top where the bag of studs would be inside. So I don't know why, one, they put that in my P.O. box, and two, where it went. Like, I imagine it got cut open somewhere. I mean, it's a straight cut. It's not a tear. It's like a straight razor went across that. So I don't know how it was cut open, but then that had to fall out if it was in the package originally. So we'll go to war peacefully with that later. Just ask people to do the bare minimum, like just do your job, which is really hard for our small country post office. They get mad about everything, and it's like, what else do you have to do? There's 100 mailboxes in here, and you guys just sit here all day. Don't know. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is a very beautiful shelf of things that we have. I think that I've shown this in maybe other videos. I don't know. But still in the bag from the machine shop. This is my B16a2 block. They went through it. They had to bore it 30 thousandths over. That's like they want to do as little as possible so that, like, in case something happened, I had more room to bore it out further. So this was probably the most expensive thing. This was, I don't know how much I got this for. I got a lot, not a lot like a lot of things, but like a lot as in a grouping of things, where I got this block plus 2 heads. And I think only one of the heads was usable. And we combined the parts from those other heads, that one plus another one I had gotten that was also not usable, but had a bunch of usable parts. I think one head had like these really nice, like high-end race valves in it randomly, and then one of them had better springs. So we took the better springs, we took the better race valves, and we put them all into the head that had cam caps. So we got one usable one, and all the valves were seated, and everything was made to be functional. And so same thing happened with this. They went through it, cleaned up, got it ready to go. And so also had to get the wrist pins pushed into the rods. This is all stuff I'm learning about, so I'm trying to explain it and make it make sense and try not to ramble, which is a difficulty of mine. But because I didn't upgrade to fancy ones that have the full floating pins in there, these pins had to be pressed in by the shop. So I had that done at the same time this was done. And then I made sure to get I tried to get Honda factory head bolts, because this is not a race thing. It's not going to be outside of what Honda has designed this motor for. I just want it to last and be quality, so I try to use the red label parts. I never know though when they're knockoffs or not, because anyone can make these stickers, so don't know, but I always try to get them. And those run about like $100 for that. Right here, I just got this awesome eBay seller. They provided me this pipe that I needed for the back of here. It's like a coolant pipe that goes to the water pump on this side, and this is the radiator housing. And I said, hey, is there any way you guys can put in the mounting bolts? And they totally did. And they gave me the mounting bolts. They gave me both of them. And then within 15 minutes of having it, I lost the short one, because that's how ADHD works. But I'm still really happy. That was amazing. They didn't have to do that because it wasn't part of the sale. I just asked in a message on eBay and they said, sure, no problem. They made it happen. So I miss those days of having that awesome relationship with sellers and service. There's the crank that was checked over. They said it was all good. Obviously water pump. These are the intake sides, or no, these are exhaust studs because those ones came in, no problem. Different things in here. I'm pretty sure these are the seals for that go around the cams, I think. If they don't already have it, I just want to make sure I had extra ones. And obviously, try to get that red label in there. If you can see, I've got my hand in the way. What else? Real fancy, high-end Gods Now cam cap. Just want to make sure I had one. I think this word is rear main seal. This is an oil pump. I think we have a couple of these. I don't think these really go bad unless there's some major fault in them. So I'm just going to kind of wipe this one off and it's going to go in. I'm not going to spend another $300 to get a brand new one because these parts are usually meant to last. And then over here, a little oil pickup. And then over here, I also have the oil pan sitting on my housemate's H22. He's putting back together. And there's a lot of parts in here. So I think the mounting hardware for that tube is in there. And then down here, hiding, is another what's supposed to be, that one actually came from Japan, so I'm pretty sure that's accurate. That is the Type R pulley. You know, it's the single crank pulley. Right, then moving over here to the shelf of heads. I showed this in the video where I built this. I still haven't put a bunch of stuff on it because I'm trying to be discerning and making sure I have the most important stuff so things are easy to find on this shelf. But right here is the new one. It's got done at the machine shop. They got all cleaned up. I love getting stuff back from the machine shop. I see these builds on Instagram and these people have the cleanest, nicest looking, well put together motors. And I got this greasy shade tree motor. So it's nice to get something back from the machine shop where they clean it. They do all that fancy stuff. And even though it's not important, I always get these. They're like 20 bucks. They're not the factory ones because they're not plastic. This is just like a piece of aluminum. But they fit really well, they look good, and they don't cause any problems. So just various gaskets. This is a free tool I got. This is kind of neat, goes in your keychain. It came with these, which I needed for the valve cover so I can make it shiny. I think these are rings in here. I got the King's bearings, which are upside down, King's bearings, and thrust washers. Not the King's Racing, because I'm not gonna race this, because I'm not a race car driver. I was like building cool stuff. And then the new head gasket that should fit with the bigger pistons. Yeah. Over here, I have some potential intake manifolds. Not sure which one I'm going to use. They all look really good. So I think I'm going to actually just go through and clean up all of them. Just really degrease them, pull all the extra cables off there. Like all these, sorry, not cables, hoses. Pull those off. We got some extra throttle bodies. We know this one is a GSR because it goes the opposite way of some of these other ones, right? And then over here, I just got this. Met this dude on OfferUp. Seems like a legit dude down in LA or somewhere. It's about 4 hours away from me. So he was awesome. Like, I'm like, hey man, look, I see how much you want for this and I want to give you that. How much is it going to be to ship? Because you don't OfferUp, people put like a set amount, like it's $14.99 to ship this engine block, when you know it's really not the shipping. So we talked it out. I think it came to about 230 bucks and it came pretty complete. He's like, sorry man, it's a little dirty. I said, don't even worry about that. I appreciate getting all this in one set. These injectors look good. I looked at all of them through little holes in here, which I really can't illustrate with my phone. Sorry about that. But none of them are cracked. None of them are busted. So I'm going to assume that they are all sprayed correctly. So it's nice to get a good set of injectors. I've been having trouble finding new ones. So hopefully finding old ones that work. Comes with a full fuel rail. And it's the right fuel rail because a lot of times I end up running this type of fuel rail, which is not the right one. It's also a good example of what happens when they get all busted up. So the ones inside that don't look like that. They're not busted, they're not broken. But this is usually the fuel rail that I run on a lot of things. You can see I have them, but this one has it, and it's pretty complete. Has this sensor, has that fuel pressure regulator, the factory one. So it has everything, it's pretty complete. Has a full throttle body with all the sensors, except for that one, which doesn't seem a problem. I think we just have to reinstall those. Like these ones are missing theirs. yeah, this, I'm happy about this. Hopefully this is a good working one, but it's just nice to see this all comes together. But I have the choice. Both these are P30, but as you can see, they say P2T right there, if it'll focus. This one I'm very interested in because it doesn't say any of those things. It's the same shape, and to test, I didn't want to move any of these heads off here because obviously they're heavy, and there's a bunch of stuff in the way now, but I wanted to see if this would fit, and so I put it up behind a D series head, like a Y8 head, to see if this was a Y8 manifold, and it's not. It's definitely a lot bigger than that. And so I'm like, all right, so it should be the right one. It looks like all the other ones has all the same things. Little differences. This isn't plugged up because I don't think Civics use this one because theirs is sitting somewhere else. I think it's sitting in the air tube, is my guess. But Integra's, they put theirs right here. Like on my GSR, it has the plug right there. But this one says P73, so I'm like, is this a Type R? I don't know. I don't really have any fancy Honda stuff. I just get like, you know, basic OEM stuff and put it together and have a blast. I ordered this. I think the best price for these, if someone's not giving away for free, if we're being realistic, the best price for a B-Series valve cover that is uncut. I hate all you jokers. Not actually hate. I dislike all you jokers who cut off the cam covers. I mean, in California, we need them to pass smog. We need them to pass referee. So have them. So all of mine have them. I do like this one. All right, got the bigger VTEC. This one I just got also has the bigger VTEC. They say the JDM ones have the bigger VTEC and the American ones have the bigger DOHC, which I feel like I have an example of that to show you guys, and I will look for that. But this is one I had, so I'm probably gonna clean this up today because things need to be clean. Oh, good. And then this is the one I just ordered. So yeah, 150 bucks. That's the perfect price. It's fair, and that's what they go for. And it shouldn't be $230 because you painted it with wrinkle red. You could paint it with wrinkle red at home. The can is sitting somewhere. You bake this bad boy, hit it with a heat gun. It'll look just like the Honda factory one, and you polish these off. But yeah, so today, I'll probably show you guys after it's done because no one wants to sit around and watch me degrease these parts. But I'll show you what they look like when they're all cleaned up. Let's do a quick hot lap around the garage because I'm trying to do better because I don't go off script or anything like that. So I'm always going off script. So I wanted to find a valve cover that said DOHC bigger than the VTEC. This is my housemate's. That one doesn't. This is the H22. This one doesn't. Let's see what's under these ones. How's this one look? Nope, VTEC is still bigger. All right, so we're gonna keep going around. I think I know where one is on a more complete motor, but since I saw you last, I put in a load of laundry so that my wife won't be mad that I didn't do anything house-wise while she was gone. But I also started taking apart this one I got. I also noticed that this one has 2 studs and 2 bolts, and that one over there that I like has 4 studs. Interesting, kind of irrelevant. But I started getting all this apart. I just need to clean it up a little bit more, get a few more of these hoses, not cables, off. And then I'll also clean off the rest of this gasket. This gasket came off perfectly. The injectors, like I said, they all look good. These filters look clean. These rubbers look good. There's no nicks. They don't look dried or cracked. And then, oops, don't lose that important filter. Sorry. I'm going to put these in a bag. I got plastic bags. I'm going to put these in a bag so they stay together. And I can put them somewhere where none of them get broken so they don't get hit on the tips. And then I'm going to put all this hardware, the spacers from right there, and the nuts and bolts that match. I'm going to put those into a separate bag just to make sure I don't lose it. But so we're continuing on our quest. And I try to make sure that anytime I say something, like I was talking about the valve covers and how much they cost, and finally at the end of the video, I rounded back to how much I paid for it, which was $150, which I thought was a good deal. So on this one, we're on a quest. We're diving. So much stuff I can't knock over. Okay, here we go. Found one. So on this B16 valve cover, I think is the USDM one that says DOHC bigger than VTEC. And then down here, there's nothing, but I think that my friend Anthony, that I got this from, shaved this off, is what I think really happened. Because usually it should say something, even if it just says something like Honda Motor Co. You know, it's a different type of valve cover, but I think it should say something besides this, but usually that's the main difference. So I've heard. Side note, I didn't take a video of this, but this is I just love showing this because I like to destroy things. I was running this motor very hard. It came in a car. So long story short, I bought a B16 that my friend found for a really good price. It was 1,500 bucks for a complete working B16 with like all the parts included, and a GSR trans. They had been running it in an Integra, so a couple of the mounts were different because they had it set up for Integra. I was going to put it in an EK, but at the time I didn't have an EK. So out of nowhere, an offer up one day, a white EK hatch popped up, 1,500 bucks. I mean, same as it costs to swap it. So I'm like, this is match made in heaven. I went and got it, and I ran it, and I didn't really check much about it. I fixed a bunch of janky wiring. I pulled out a bunch of dead wiring, but I did not do any checks on the motor, and then I just ran the crap out of it. Like 24 hours at Le Mans, I was running it hard. And that didn't really affect the engine so much here. Like, see, engine's fine. But where it did affect the engine was here, with this one piston, which is floating around here on the ground somewhere. Where you at? Here we are. Well, this one decided to let go and come out the front and the back. It's a pass-through window. It's about as useful as a submarine at the screen door. And you can see down here where it hit this girdle thing. Everything else was still fine, but that was messed up. And so I hope to be able to use that white head at the top. It's over on the workbench, but there's a little bit of metal in the oil pickup, but right when it blew, this thing shut off. So I don't think anything was sucked into the top, but there should be some usable sensors. Like, I believe I was told that this sensor I could reuse. Yeah, and someone was saying that you could possibly reuse this bottom one on the B series. I don't know. I'll need to get new ones for my new build. Yeah, but you can see it's just taken apart, blown apart, but there's still good parts on here. I mean, so anything that can be salvaged, I'll probably pull the crank pulley. That's probably good. Crank's probably thrashed because of what happened. Valve cover's good, so if anyone needs a Y8 valve cover, hit me up. If anyone's doing a mini-me swap, there's the top. Everything looks good in there. Just the bottom that took a crap. All right, so this is where I'm gonna leave you guys for today. I hope this is entertaining. So I have all three of the heads stripped. It was most of the new one where I wanted to take everything off of it. I realized I do not have any cleaner, and probably one of my favorite things to clean metal or car parts is actually oven cleaner, like Easy Off. And actually even more than the Easy Off, I love the knockoff Easy Off because I think it's stronger. Like, they don't regulate the amount of chemicals that go in the knockoff stuff, so it actually feel like it works better. Because it's not supposed to be safe for kids or pets. It's just supposed to do its job. So yeah, so those I want to clean all of them because I like things just to be ready to go. I'll probably just use the one in the middle as the one I got, so it's the only one that's actually truly mine. I think both these are my housemates, so I'd have to ask before I use them. I'm sure you'd say yes though, because that's why we have spares. I'm gonna see what bolts are in this and clean this out. You guys don't really see that. That's all kinds of boring, but this bad boy that's sitting outside because I'm stupid and leave things outside. I'm pretty sure it's still full of oil, so I'm not worried about the bottom end, but it has been raining, and so I'm like, you know what I should do? I should plug up all these holes in the front so no water gets in there. But on the other end, there's no fuel rail on here or injectors, so I'm gonna take this bag and I'm gonna plug up each of these holes, and hopefully it's still salvageable. I know there's something on here that will work, and the spark plug holes are covered pretty well by that. And then I'd mentioned earlier that the Civics don't use that piece on the manifold. So here's my GSR. See, it has that little temperature plug that goes somewhere else on the Civic engines. But yeah, so this is my GSR. I blew this bad boy. Mourn for me. All right, you guys have a good day. I hope this didn't waste your time. I hope it was entertaining. I want my videos to feel like you're sitting there talking to a friend about cool Honda stuff. All right, talk to you guys later. Okay, I know I said I was gone, but I wanted to add this in the video. I finally cleaned out this oil pan. This came with the block and all the other parts I got from this really nice dude up in San Jose. And so I just need to degrease it on the outside. Very stoked that when he put it on, he used like 0 silicone, or like RTV silicone. And so this just came right off, and I just wiped that lip clean. It's nice and smooth, no problems. This looks really good inside. It doesn't seem to be like bottomed out or scraped really bad, which is a problem that happens with a lot of lowered Hondas. It just, I will clean it out more. I mean, I'm sure I wiped it clean enough, but I will degrease it. But like I said, I don't have any degreaser. But I have these parts in here. I feel like these are important. I think they go around somewhere by the crank. I'm going to learn how to do this. That's why the whole point of this project is me learning how to put this stuff together from my housemate, who's very, very smart. And this is part of the crank too. And then I found this little key, this little keeper that keeps your crank and your pulley from spinning individually. They need to spin together, and that's the little key that makes that happen. I actually ordered a new one, but it's really cool that I found this one down in the grease and oil of this oil pan. This little tensioner. I think you get new ones when you order a water pump kit, but this one seems to spin pretty well. And then all these bolts, I don't know what they all are. I can identify some of them. I know these are important. These are the shouldered bolts for holding on the plastic timing belt cover. Yeah, and then a lot of these nuts and some of these are probably for just bolting on the oil pan in general. But everything you don't have to buy that you already have is so awesome. So I mean, I'm definitely stoked about this. I need to put these somewhere. Probably just wrap them up in this and put them somewhere so all that grease can soak up, and I'll clean them off later. Because yeah, I still got to go get other cleaner for that, other degreaser as well as the oven cleaner. Hit up Harbor Freight for some new gloves. Yeah. So now we're ending on this. Now we're ending on this.